drift into the background if I feel a little insecure with things or standing in front of a group. And then practicing that before entering into a group or leading something is really helpful in just being there.
For me, the authority one has been really helpful actually, to assume an inner authority over my own habitual inner monologue and take charge inside of myself. So how that also helped me in my life was that I stopped forcing my authority on other people because I had it inside of myself.
All right, everyone, you have 5 minutes left.
A really useful posture has been entering in pose. So the idea of moving forwards, entering into new or different situations. And for me, it has really helped me to make initial contact with people, to approach people for friendship, conversation, or just general contact in a way that I wasn't that confident about doing it before. I'm autistic, I'm on the autism spectrum, and so making contact with people can be a bit difficult, and that I'm not quite sure when it's appropriate or not. So the entering pose has been really, really useful in allowing me to do that.
So I want to go through some of the postures that I find extremely helpful in my own life. So obviously the basic principle of EYP is we practice something on the mat, and then we do the micro postures. We're actually able to shift into that mode off the mat for daily life. This is one of the things that makes EYP so useful, is not just that we get healthy or do something that kind of feels good while we're in the yoga studio. It's that in our lives we can actually employ it. So for example, letting go posture is one we use a lot. It's this kind of standard forwards bend, done in a kind of hanging, relaxed kind of way. And actually, first of all, on the mat is getting used to that energy, getting used to that way of being, using it as an inquiry. That's part of EYP. But then off the mat, sometimes, I don't know, a typical one for me is I'll be online and I'll get into an argument, and then I'll just go, it doesn't matter. Or maybe I get an email from a client and the client says, actually, we're going to cancel a piece of work that we thought we were going to do. I've lost some money. And I'm like, attachment causes suffering, right? So it's, and I just do that letting go. So another example would be warrior posture, right? So, we're practicing on the mat, a classical kind of warrior two, yeah? And first thing is inhabiting that and getting used to that way of being, kind of marinating in it, I say, which for some of my students is really useful. For me, it's just noticing, okay, I'm really at home there, yeah? And actually maybe noticing I might need to do a bit less of that in my life. It might be about backing off sometimes. However, like everyone, I have days where I'm, a bit down or a bit sad, I lost someone recently, or, maybe the weather's just really horrible like it often is in England, and I need a bit more of that oomph. So maybe it's like I'm leaving the house and I'm like, right, and I step forward, I engage my fingers, I just engage that mode, and it's like boom, yeah? Another one would be no posture. So this is one I know has been helpful to lots of students. So we have the classical no posture from EYP here, yeah? There's a whole video on this if you're interested. And you'll see the deviations. Some people make this mistake, or 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 there's lots of mistakes, yeah? So we notice those deviations. We notice if that's our pattern. I have a pretty solid no. I have had for quite a lot of my life. There's reasons for that, culturally and personally. And again, I still sometimes forget it, and I need to step into that, or this, these situations where it's difficult. I remember once I was teaching in the Ukraine, and we were in a yoga studio, and there was someone booked before us for this studio we were using for quite a short training that we had booked. And they wouldn't get out, and they were late. And I thought, okay, give them 5 minutes, okay, 10 minutes. Okay, after 10 minutes, I just walked in, and I said, best authority posture, you guys need to leave, yeah? You guys need to leave, it's time to get out. And so the authority posture, if you haven't seen that one, that was what I was embodying at that moment, yeah? I said, right, and I spoke in English, not Ukrainian or Russian. And my Russian's pretty bad and my Ukrainian's non-existent. I said to them, right, you guys need to leave. And it had an impact on them. And there was about 100 people in this big studio. And they were like, oh. And then one of them said, do you mind if we just do another 5 minutes for a photo shoot? And I said, no, I would like you to leave. You're essentially stealing from me. I've booked this space. You're on my time. That's not okay. It was a really firm no. I was like, come on, I gave them an extra 10 minutes, taking the piss now. you know? And they all left, 100 people left that room immediately, even though most of them didn't even speak English, but they just felt, okay, this guy has authority and there's absolutely no way he's gonna take our bullshit right now. So it's a good example, and we don't have video footage of that, unfortunately, but you'll see that. Another one, let's take yes posture. So I can get a bit too much no sometimes. We practice our yes posture in EYP. I'll give an example of this. I was in a meeting with a colleague talking about a business training that we were doing together, and he said, can I give you some feedback? And I was like, my immediate response was to get defensive, right? Like, I don't really like feedback, even though it's a big part of my job. I was like, oh, I found myself going into no mode, and I just went, no, actually, I really trust this guy. He's intelligent, he's got my best interests at heart, I want to take the feedback. So I just softened in my chair slightly, opened my palms and said, all right, Frankie, give it to me, what have you got, what? And I was able to hear him, and it was like, and he really felt heard, he felt like he told me what he needed to tell me. It didn't take long, I just opened my palms, and I went from this spine to this spine, sitting in the chair. It was, you know, one of the easiest pieces of feedback I've ever held, because I went into that yes mode as opposed to my habitual kind of pushback mode. Another example, profound example from my life, my dad died a couple of months ago. And I find myself in that process of letting go. That's what grief is, right? So it's another use for letting go posture. And it's, you know, I remember my dad, I honor my dad, but there's also a way in which to just go, okay, and it's sad and it's down and it's this slight letting go, but it's a bit like child pose. We practice that, obviously, you don't need to see a demo, you all know child pose, or the letting go posture. And a little bit of that just helps me go, all right, this person is really dead and that's painful and I miss them, and that's how it is, you know, that is the reality. So there's a personal example as well, and you'll see some examples here on this clip from other people showing different examples from their life. You know, I've heard from clients, senior teachers, for example, who've said, yeah, this has helped me with my clients, being able to talk to my clients more confidently. This has helped me approach men or approach women in a more kind of sexual context. Yeah, I hear people say, this is really good with telling my children they need to go to bed when I do authority posture. What else? So many examples. I get excited speaking about it because you just hear these stories every day in the EYP community where someone said, oh, there's another one. There's an activist, one of the London community who the no posture she was doing helped her kind of stand up to the local government who were doing something unpleasant, and she was leading a kind of protest group. So lots and lots of examples of how EYP applies, and one of the ways we apply it is by using these little micro postures. So, you know, super, super helpful. So if you like that, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the little bell button so you get the videos rather than just subscribe. Obviously, likes and comments are very useful for us. It's always nice to hear what people think, to ask questions. I will respond to them if you do. Yeah, so ask questions, share your own experiences, and it just means that more people see the videos, which is nice for us. It also means you're more likely to see it yourself in the future. So if you've liked it, please like it.